good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats Football Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin. Joining me as co-host, Macy O'Deal. We do await the arrival of Punchy Dill and Nikita Robinson. But a lot to talk about today, Maceo. Kind of silenced you for a bit.
Yeah. I'm going to take a little elixir, Danny Tom.
First things first. Yeah. PHC lost their first game. You had indicated you didn't see them losing the game.
Yeah, I didn't see PHC losing the game until last week. And last week I changed my opinion after I saw a few things.
Yeah. And then, of course, you said Southampton Rangers would not win a game this year, and today was their day. They came from behind to defeat Somerset Eagles.
And incredibly enough, they won it up at White Hill on a bigger field where I thought...
No, the game was actually switched. The game was actually switched to Southampton Oval by the BFA on Thursday or Friday, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Now Dion Stavo comes into play there. Yeah, he comes into play on a smaller field. So that makes sense.
Yes. So well, let's actually start with that the top of the table clash. Of course, two teams who we thought would be the teams that would be battling for the title in Dandy Town and PHC. They battled at PHC's stadium, and of course, Dandy Town Hornets have played 7 games now and are unbeaten. They lead the league by 10 points.
Yeah, you want to get it? You want to give the trophy to Danny Town now or at the end of the season? Which one? I mean,
you have to play the entire season out. You have to play the entire season.
You have to play I mean, the question is, can Danny Town be invincible? Can they? I think that's the question now. As what I've seen over the last few weeks between Dandy Town and PHC, I saw PHC start to crack a bit. PHC's cracking for me started then. Their holding midfield, the kid Joe, he was doing such a fabulous job in that holding midfield, and he was allowing Marco Warren to play a lot forward. Marco Warren was getting the ball always in the last third. He was opening up people. Now Marco Warren's coming a little deeper, looking for the ball. Trey Ming is in the midfield for the PHC, and Trey, as I said last week, he wants to get involved in everything. So he pushes forward, he pushes out of the space. And I watched Trey very closely today. I think he probably could still be carrying a bit of injury because usually he makes all his passes. He's a clinical passer. Trey's a clinical passer, and his passes were going straight today. Good 60% were going straight. So I watched the little kinks in PHC, and while I watched the kinks in PHC, I watched the strength in Dandy Town to start to negotiate different things. So, for instance, today Dandy Town was under the cuff for 80 minutes of that game. 80 minutes they had to defend, and they defended. The organization of the defendant was superior, and you have to give kudos to the likes of Dankins and the coach JB. You have to, that's a good plan. Jay can definitely deal with the aggressive players. He can deal with the challenging players. He can handle that, and Dankins is he's gonna bring organization and structure to it. So it's a very, very good combination, and that's something we in Bermuda should look at. 2 diverse personalities in Jay and Dankins, very diverse personalities, and because creativity is meeting structure, look what happens on the field. That's something we can really look at in how we look to create teams.
Just talking about you mentioned that Dandy Town defended for some 80 minutes and did it well enough to come away with the 2-1 win away from home. How do you look at their attacking scheme? I mean, they were able to score twice and hold PHC out to only allow them to score once. And if you look at both teams, well, Dandy Town has scored 18 times this year and only given up 4. Now PHC have scored 17 times and given up 7. So defensively, it looks as if the Dandy Town Hornets have done enough throughout the preparation for the season and through the season to ensure they limit the amount of girls they give up.
Well, we talked about that, right? We talked about not giving up girls, and Danny Tan's not giving up girls. So we're not giving up girls, they're giving their players a platform to score. And today, I mean, Danny Tan's not been, they're when I looked at them today, all the goals came from set players. So Danny Tan scored a goal from a free kick and a corner. PAC scored a goal from a penalty. All set plays. So both teams, Danny Tan and PAC, seemed to cancel each other out because nobody was really running behind the defense. Everything was played in the front of them, and it came down to the two set players. And Deniton are now able to score on set players. So if you look at Deniton, the scoring on set players, at certain times they can really blow teams away and expose teams, with the creativity that they got going forward. And on top of it, they now lasted 80 minutes of pressure against the PHC. 80 minutes of pressure that they withstood. I mean, the players were dropping down with injuries, so they was under pressure. They was under pressure for 80 minutes. And PHC didn't really get clear-cut chances. So Daniton, everything that they're doing thus far talks about a championship performance. And like I said, for me is now they got 10 points. To me is now, can they be invincible? Can they be invincible?
Definitely. And then now let's jump down to Bernard Park, because obviously the battle that we thought it would be, Devonshire Cougars with a few injuries, under a new coach. They haven't lost under the new coach, taking on North Village. Both teams wanted to win to obviously get some momentum. North Village are just 4 points off the relegation. I'm sorry, 3 points off the relegation zone following this loss, 1-0 loss to the Devonshire Cougars. But looking at the makeup of it, Devonshire Cougars now jump up to tied for second with 11 points, but their goal difference is 6. They've scored 9 and given up 3, where North Village have scored 8 and given up 6, and they have 7 points. Looking at the two teams, do you believe that they're heading opposite directions, or we're North Village? Well, let's talk about North Village for a second. Obviously, they're going through a rough period, and I think I believe they will come out of it. It's just a matter of putting things right at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, North Village is heading in the wrong direction as being a league champion. They almost remind me of Leicester, right? When Leicester being the league champion, and the very next season, it was like night and day. The next season. Yeah, I don't see North Village this season being able to come out of it. I mean, I saw the game against PHC. The players are not fit, and they can't push across the line. They can't do what is being asked of them because the players are not in great shape. So I just see that pressure building at North Village. I see it building and building. And I mean, last week we talked about North Village playing Devonshire Cougars, who pretty much owns Bernard's Park. They own Bernard Park, since the conception of Bernard's Park. And North Village I think they need a whole new direction. I think this is a write-off season. They wouldn't get relegated. Definitely, they won't get relegated because, you got the likes of Crossroads that's a shoe in. You got Rangers that's problematic. So I can't see North Village being relegated, but they're not going to have a meaningful season for sure.
Now let's talk about Devonshire Cougars, because obviously under Kwame, they've been able to get on a run and get on a roll, and they're unbeaten under him. They go to Bernard Park and they get the reward that they were looking for, that a 1-0 win.
Yeah, they're going to be Cougars is going to be a lot more ambitious than North Village. Kwame being a younger coach, and I mean, he wants a league title, right? He wants to put a league title to his name. So he's going to be a lot more aggressive and ambitious about pushing pushing that agenda forward. He wants to be in that conversation. Cougars wants to be in that conversation. I don't think they're gonna be in the big boy conversation just yet. You know, they're not gonna be in the big boy conversation, but they can create some sort of upset. What's now building up is the next game between Cougars and Dannytown. That is going to build up, especially with Kwame's history at Dannytown. That's gonna be the next big thing. That Dannytown has to face. That Cougars is now the only one that I potentially see taking something off of Dannytown.
Mm, okay. Well, let's go up to the Somerset Cricket Club where Somerset Trojans put five past Crossroads. We've been talking about Crossroads leaking goals, leaking goals, leaking goals. They've now given up a total of um, 23 goals in 7 matches and only scored five. They've had one of the league's top scorers for the past few years in Donovan Thompson, but he's struggling this year to find the back of the net, and again they're just leaking goals. I mean, Somerset took a 2-0 lead after 7 minutes, and then scored three goals late in the game. So looking at Somerset Trojans, Jomar was able to steady the ship of sorts. If you look at them, they are tied on 11 points with PHC and Devonshire Cougars. They have a goal difference of 8, but they're in with a shout of coming. Right now sitting in a comfortable position.
Yeah, Somerset again. Somerset, they're not going to be a contender. They're not going to be a contender. The only thing that we're going to get out of Somerset is your Ken Jamal Wilkinson survived the year. I'm hearing the murmurs. Kenny survives. This was a good victory for him, but again, it's an expected victory. It's definitely an expected victory that he put five crossroads. So can he get his point across up there? Can he get his point across? Does he get opportunity to survive the year? Does he get an opportunity to go into next year? And build something again. We talk about Somerset. We talk about creating a Dandytown, taking a Dandytown concept up to Somerset. I've said it. You can't put a square in a circle. Dandytown, Somerset culturally come through organization. They come through organization. They come through discipline. I've seen some indisciplined situations happen with the players up there. That's not going to be tolerated long. It's not going to be tolerated long. It's going to. So can Jamar pull that together? And we know, as good as Jamar is as manipulating a football game to get a victory, he's also took on a lot of players that have discipline problems. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that has managed those discipline problems greatly. So an example of what I mean by that, you take the young boy, Kamal, that plays for Dannytown.
Mm.
He's being managed correctly right now, and he's effective. Like I saw it today. That while he's one of the aggressive players, he's one of the personality players, but under the Dandytown regime, under Jay, under Jenkins, under DeVar Boyles, the kid is being managed correctly. He's being managed correctly to behave correctly, and you're getting productivity out of him. And I've just not seen Jamal do that. He likes those type of players, but I've not seen him manage them from a discipline standpoint. So that's not gonna be tolerated too much longer up Somerset. And
let's talk a little bit about Crossroads, because obviously it's a struggle right now. It is a struggle right now, and they're at the wrong end, week in and week out of these results. I mean, they picked up a win their first game of the season when they played Southampton Rangers. The game was eventually handed to them due to an error by Southampton Rangers, but they had already won the game 2-0, but then they got 3-0. But I mean, the games that the other games that they've played, they've been outplayed and outscored. if you were in the setup, what would you be looking to do come whatever day you train?
It referring to Crossroads.
Yes.
Well, my honest opinion, just as you can hand Danny Tom the trophy, you can put Crossroads in you can relegate them now. You can relegate them now. I would think that they're gonna be deflated. They're gonna be deflated, mentally, emotionally, like you said, with the amount of goals that they're giving up. You know, I don't know that even the top coaches can have a solution for that. That
Mm,
right now, I just can't see a solution for them to stop linking girls. They might need Manchester United just hired a sports psychologist. Maybe Crossroads need one of them. They might
mm,
need to hire a psychologist to figure out how to stop linking girls because I don't see tactics. They need to change a whole mentality. They need to change the whole mentality to stop linking girls, and I don't see that happening. I mean, today they took five, right? They
mm,
they they, they took five, and I think mentally the players are going to already be going. They're already going to
mm.
be going now. You
Yeah.
know, and they lost. They lost. I mean, think about what they lost. They lost the goalkeeper in uh,
Cooper.
Cooper, so they lost a bit of organization. They lost a few players to BA. So you know they're just about going. They're going. You can write them off now.
Okay. We're going to take a commercial break and maybe come back. We'll talk about that the game at Southampton Oval where Southampton Rangers picked up their first win, a win you said they wouldn't get all season. We'll be right back.
John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's foremost distributor of fine beverages, is bringing on the joyful festivities this winter with Barrett Stone Ginger Beer. We've extolled the virtues of this traditional Bermudian drink before. It's refreshing and spicy and wonderful in the kitchen. Google cooking with ginger beer and you'll be amazed by the diversity and wow factor of the recipes. As our good friend Bruce Barrett says, bubbly, tasty, full of spice, refreshing and exciting. When it hits your taste buds, mate, full flavor is igniting. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. I'm still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
Welcome back. We're joined by Garrett Punchy Dill. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm sorry. Good evening, gentlemen. My apologies
Not a
for
problem.
being late. But
Not a
anyway,
problem. Which game did you venture to?
well, I went in the Northlands game
Okay.
against Cougars. Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
give us some insight on how the game went? I mean, we just talked about Macy and I talked about obviously, it had been disappointing for North Village to not come away with a point or a result that they wanted. And of course, Maceo reminded us that Cougars have dominated North Village at Bernard Park since Bernard Park kind of opened. So, give us your evaluation of the game?
Well, when I got there, when I got there, the school was already 1-0, and it was already 1-0. What I saw in the aftermath of that is that Cougars seemed to be in control of the game for long periods of time. The second half begun, and Norfolk seemed like they might score a goal. They looked like they were capable of getting a goal, but of course, the finishing in 18-yard area was really something that's still got to be discussed with you guys. What I find about North Village, But anyway, my main concern, I thought Cougars deserve that 3 points today. I thought they looked like a little bit more polished, if that can make any sense to you. They what Kwame is trying to achieve of it. And I said to him, I had an interview with him after the game. They looked like what they're trying to do. I thought they lacked the finishing, and he did bring that to my attention. In many games that they've had been in control of, they just lacked the finishing touch, and it's coming. But I was really impressed with what they're trying to do. They play out the back. They look like there's a strategy in terms of good ball possession, ball movement, and at times I say, wow, they they were very impressive. My problem watching with Northern is just that, and I'm gonna say this again. There's a lot of seniority in the team now, and I don't think the seniors are playing up to the full potentials. Full potential. I think that the slow in in terms of what the approach is to the game. What's surprising to me is that they were different last week against PAC. So the strategy was whatever they did against PAC. Why didn't they come with the same strategy this week? And I think they didn't high press Cougars enough. What they also I noticed today on a smaller pitch, they gave the ball away quite a bit. There was in terms of possession wise, but I thought in the second half, they were in the first 20 minutes of the second half, they could have probably got a goal, and then it just seemed that the game became open. But Cougars still was deserving. I think they deserved that 3 points today.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. Now, Maceo, let's go to that Southampton Rangers coming from behind to beat Somerset Eagles up at Southampton Oval. Punchy, that match was switched from White Hill to Southampton Oval, I believe, either Thursday or Friday by the association. So Southampton Rangers picked up their first win of the season. Yeah, I see you raising your eyebrows, Punchy, because Maceo said that they wouldn't win a game all season. He had Streaker saying, Streaker's number, but Streaker kept saying, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Hey.
Maceo, hearing that score, Southampton Rangers 2, Somerset Eagles 1, your thought process in all of that?
Well, you know what? It shows the value of this show, right? Because we're criticizing, we're having our opinions out there, and people are responding to them. One thing I've always loved, I've loved when somebody can shut me up. I really do. When it comes to football, I love when somebody can prove my opinion wrong. When it comes to if I'm not giving positive criticism to them, I used to challenge my players as a coach to prove me wrong. Like I'm saying, well, you can't do this, and psychologically they say, well, watch me do it, and I like that. I like people that take me on. I like when they take me on, because it shows that they're a competitor, and I know Streaker's a competitor. I already know that, and I know he'll take me on, and I know. I saw Dion Stavo last night, and he took me on. He took me on, and he proved that Rangers can win a game, and I like that. I like that.
Ironically, he scored the winner.
That doesn't surprise me, right? He took me on, so I actually really, really like that. So kudos to Rangers and winning the game, because I had them down for not winning the game. Or can they survive the season? That's the next challenge.
Well, let me get to the picks. It's going to be an interesting pick for next week because they have an opportunity to climb out the cellar next week. But we'll talk about that when we get to the. So Punchy, hearing Rangers beating Somerset Eagles, your thoughts on a team like Somerset Eagles? I mean, we looked at them at the beginning of the season. We said they were going to struggle. There was an opportunity for them to pull themselves out of it, but they're finding themselves in a deeper hole. Right now, they are at the bottom of the table with 3 points. With Crossroads, Crossroads have given up. They're minus 18. Somerset Eagles are minus 12. But they only have 3 points with Southampton Rangers on 4. Your thoughts on Somerset Eagles right now?
I've analyzed this situation with Psalms of Eagles. When I watched them play against Norfolk, it's just Norfolk were just really bad that day. They have Shakir Smith. I think it's Shakir. I mean,
Shakir Smith. Yes.
Yeah, quality. But if you make sure that you shut him down, then there's no passes coming to him. What else is Psalms of Eagles going to offer? What else is going to offer? And again, getting back to the game, the Psalms of Eagles lost to St. George's. I didn't see the game, but St. George's were totally in control of the game, and they should have beat Psalms of Eagles convincingly. That's St. George's, but St. George's will figure that out what they need to do up in the 8th. But Psalms of Eagles, of course. So my problem with this is this: when Psalms of Eagles beat North Village, how did that happen? And so now you're seeing what we're talking about here. Psalms of Eagles, I do appreciate. I know Gary Darrell's doing it. He's trying to help out. I don't think they just have the quality there. Now, what will be now? Let's not take this for granted. Now, when they play at home, there's going to be a different Psalms of Eagles team concept, right? When you go up there and play at White Hill, some of the players that are not as quote unquote not quality, but they will just fight the heart that they have. So, for them, I think that yes, when they play most of the matches, they're going to lose most of the matches away from home. I don't think there's quality there. I think they're getting more organized, but this game is just like Psalms of Eagles. Well, in and out of the first division now, but back up there. And because our country is this small, I'm not expecting that much of them. I think they'll be one of the teams that are going to be demoted.
What's your thoughts on Streaker picking up a win? Albeit Psalms of Eagles, but a win in the Premiership is a win.
Well, I heard Evan Maceo. I think Streaker's going to get Streaker does his homework. He does his homework really well. He does his homework. I thought for sure the Psalms of Eagles was going to beat them, but Streaker must put in these small margins of victories. He get a little draw and just add to that. So I put kudos to Streaker for getting the result, and that matters. And just like St. George's last week matters. It's just progression. And the progression starts not too fast. It starts slow. Okay, you put it on paper. This is who I'm playing this week. I'm playing the next 3 weeks. You start, and that's what Streaker's probably doing. Looking at who we can beat, who we should beat at home, who we're going to struggle with away from home. And that's what I think, kudos to Streaker again. He's doing his homework.
Well, Maceo, you've actually worked with Streaker. Him putting together and the fact that the transfer window opened up and allowed those players to come over, and someone of the stature of Dion Stovall, who has been proven to be a winner wherever he goes, adding to that roster can only boost the younger players that they had there. I mean, prior to that late release transfer, those players been allowed to play after November 15th. Rangers were struggling for numbers, struggling for consistency. But since that, you've seen a change in the results. I haven't seen them play, but you've seen the change in the results.
I've been by their training sessions and watched a few because I cycle. I leave from Horseshoe Bay, so I go by there, watch them. I've worked with Streaker, and as a goalkeeper, what people don't understand about goalkeepers, they actually understand the whole game because they watch it from the back. So they understand the whole game. And once the challenge he was going to have is getting his players to catch up with what he understands. And can he trigger players? So now he's got a goal scorer. Now he's got a Dion Stovall that he can work with on the small field of Rangers, and that's going to work well for him. So at Rangers, I think they now stand a better chance because they can organize on that smaller field, and if they buy into that organization. So that's the question. Does Rangers buy into that organization piece? And if they buy into the organization that Streaker comes with, then they can sustain themselves. But it still remains to be seen, can they dig themselves out to survive in this league, another season. And one thing about Streaker, he would know full well what he took on, right? He would know full well what he took on, and why he took it on. So, his taking on the challenge, and it'll be interesting. The interesting thing that also comes: can Danny Tom beat Rangers at Rangers? I mean, we know about that voodoo that happens, right? Can Danny Tom beat Rangers at Rangers? Like, can they do that?
But
they don't for whatever reason they don't.
I'm sorry, Mace. What I'm doing? What I'm so happy about is that losing those score lines that Rangers have conceded, and then now he's turning it around. So I do believe in what you're saying in terms of I'm sorry to cut in on you, Maceo. But I'm saying, but it's like I think that shows fortitude. It shows like progression at a smaller time, even a small country like this. So we lost 7-0, but still look at the results that we're achieving now. So that tells me something about Streaker. It's like, it
was no different.
Exactly.
It was no different at Streaker at North Village, right? It was no different.
Yeah.
Streaker at North Village convincing players to buy into it.
Yes.
And I mean, the only difference that me and him worked together, and I had the ability to know the mentality of the players. Where Streaker played a lot at North Village, and once we realized that, okay, Maceo, you could trigger the players, and he can set the structure. It was almost like the relationship me and Streaker had is the relationship that Jay and Dankins had. Okay, one person, Maceo, you deal with the crazies, and that's what me and Streaker used to say. Okay, Maceo, you go deal with the crazies, the players, and he'll build a system. He'll build systems. So I learned a lot about football systems through working with Streaker, and because he was seeing it from a goalkeeper perspective and how the game should be played. So it'd be interesting to know who he's working with out there that knows the culture of Rangers and the players and sort of bridges that gap. So one being, like I said, if they buy into it, if they want to be disciplined, and that's what Streaker is. When Streaker was at the top of his football game, he trained very hard. He put in a lot of time, and that's why he was able to get to the top of his football game.
Well,
Rangers. Our Rangers going to be used to doing that.
Well, Maceo, that's when he saved us in Alabama in that game, innit? We took George out to go. God bless George. And you guys said to me, hey, George Bryant's got to go. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
I always do.
George Bryant.
He gets up to go, and he's only 15. And I can say this in all honesty. I can say this all Maceo knows because Maceo was 15 too. So, but I saw the streak, his work ethic, and I'm gonna tell you, I always remind him when I talk to him, say, you remember when we went to that tour in Alabama? And he's 15 years old, and we should have won the tournament. They pushed him in the back of the goal the last game, but Streaker had so much. He's 15. Was he 15 or 16 in it?
Yeah, he was very good.
I wish we would have been able to film just him and the saves that he made. And we were playing against some very good opposition. But anyway, I just think,
that goes to show people like Streaker at those ages, and even I can speak to Mishak. Those players were ahead of the time in Bermuda. They were there. I mean, the Andrews, those type of people were very much ahead of the time and what they was thinking. And me working with Streaker, because I was open-minded enough, I could see what he was telling me and he was teaching me. And he was open-minded enough and professional enough to see the pieces that I was bringing. And like I said, I see the relationship happening with Jay and Dankins. I see that relationship happening. I watch those two on the side too.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the first division match between Padgett and Young Manchester Club, and then we'll get into our picks. We'll be right back.
We're spotlighting a Bermudian company who produces staple foods and other essential products that are integral to our Bermudian way of life and are surprisingly affordable. Bermuda's Best products started out in the late 90s with Bermuda's Best codfish, which definitely got your attention. Then came Bermuda's Best mayonnaise, matching the heavy hitters in flavor and true to the Bermuda Best formula, low in price. Further diversification has ensued, resulting in the inception of Bermuda's Best concentrated laundry detergent, a special feature this month. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. I'm still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
And welcome, Coach Keita. I did jump the gun. Maceo, thanks for reminding me. Last night in the Premier Division, it was Robin Hood 1, Devonshire Colts 1. Obviously, two teams that would have been looking for maximum, but I guess we'll take the point. Devonshire Colts scoring late in the game to get the equalizer. Coach Keita, welcome. Just hearing the Robin Hood Devonshire Colts score. What would be your first thoughts on it?
Congratulations, really, to Robin Hood. They're obviously fixing some pieces that they need to fix moving forward with the team that they have. I don't know if any of their injured persons are back, and if that made a difference. But for Colts coming off of a good game against Dandytown, I kind of expected. I'm sure I selected Colts to win that match just based off of their performance against Dandytown. But this is, Errol, honestly, this is Bermuda football. I can't. It's so hard now to do this show because you just never know, right? I'm sure both teams went out to win this match, and it could have just been an off day, for Colts. But kudos to Robin Hood, the picking up some valuable points. And when it comes down to it, there's 1 point may make a difference, So 1 point is going to be better than 0 every day of the week.
Macy, you would have had a look at the game last night. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Ray is not going to be with the big boys. Yeah, he's not going to be able to play with the big boys. I was pulling for him because I saw certain things against Dandytown. I saw that organizational piece that he stifled Dandytown. He had opportunities against Dandytown, called that out to take the lead, to be in the match and to score. But what I saw out of them last night, they're very disorganized going forward. They're going forward. They're very disorganized, and a match that I expected them to go from strength to strength and beat Robin Hood, they didn't. So the Colts is not gonna have a conversation. They're not gonna be in a conversation with the big boys. They're not gonna be upset. They're not gonna go down either. They're not gonna go down because they're gonna stabilize somewhere in the middle of the table. Now Robin Hood, I watched them. Wow, and I think they. And just to get back to Ray a little bit, I still think he's not putting the Colts can be better than they are, but he's not putting that positive piece together correctly to create the rhythm that's required to be a holistic team. And Dandytown put that puzzle together very, very well each time. And they put that puzzle together even when they're missing a player. So if one player gets injured, they still put the puzzle together. Whereas everybody else is struggling to put that puzzle together. But I thought Robin Hood last night, based on the players that they have available, they put a good puzzle together. They're just not good enough. So I'll give you an example what I mean by the puzzle that they put. They took Jalen, the national squad center back, where he's comfortable, right? And they put him at a holding midfielder. And in a holding midfielder, he breaks up everything. And he uses a bit of strength to push his team forward and push his team up. And so that little switch of putting him as a hurler midfielder now stops anybody potentially attacking Robin Hood. It gives them a little bit of security in that, And Robin Hood's left back scored the goal last night. And there was Robin Hood's left back was able to score the goal because of Jalen stopping attacks, holding the ball up, allowing the whole team to push up as a block, and the left back gets in the box. The left back gets in the box and finishes off well. And the left back is this young kid, Daniel Cook. I'm coaching him as a kid. He's actually a good player. He's not the biggest player, but he's a good technical player. He makes very good decisions from that left back decision. Is a good thinking player. You know, so I'm watching Robin Hood put together the puzzle the best that they can with what they got. You know, it's just still not enough to push to be up at the top level, but they're gonna nestle in the middle somewhere.
Punchy, your thoughts?
Just the results. The results that Robin Hood have been achieving in the last 3 games. There's one. They went out. I think they went out. Dennis Rackham or Drew.
Yeah.
So, for Mr. Lamar, even playing, I know what it's like to be playing a player coach. So he's definitely done something really good, and I respect him for that too. Because all the time, it's not about always going up and just opening themselves up. So, I think with his experience, what Mr. Lamar has brought to Robin Hood, his experience, what he's been around, how to close the game up, how to challenge people defensively. Let's see what they really got. Let's see if I put 5 or 6 guys behind the ball and play with 5 guys at the back, what you gonna do? And I think he's doing. I think that's wonderful. I'm happy for it. So now the other teams got to figure out. Okay, the coaches, the other teams are got to figure out what are we gonna do? Because I saw that last week with North Village and PHC, where Kenny pushed more players forward. The intensity was good. They pushed more players forward against PHC, and he found a way. And I thought, oh, that's a good decision. I thought that was a good coaching decision. So, he's just the same thing. I think Blackbox doing a wonderful job, and again, kudos to him, as you always say, building a program, building some type of belief system that say, well, counter-attacking team, we're going to just give you a little bit of space, but then we'll counter-attack on you. And like again, look at the results. Similar to St. George's. What's happening in St. George's? St. George's ain't giving up a lot of goals, you know. It's 1-0, 2-1. They're losing by that odd goal, you know. And now we're talking about, if you look at the scores now throughout when Rangers, now we're looking at quality in the 18-yard box. But now you set your team up. Now what do we have quality, even with our counter-attacking team? What did we do in the last third? That's what is important. That's what I thought what's happening with Robin. I think at least he's doing very well. And again, I applaud him for that.
Yeah. And the last game of the weekend was the first division game. It was a game that was supposed to be played earlier in the season between Paget and Social Club. And ironically, back when this match was scheduled to be played, Young Man Social Club were still trying to find their way. But now they're on a roll. They ended up beating Paget 3-1. I know we all would have picked Social Club at the same time back then, but they hadn't had everything together. But it seems as if they've turned their season around in a short space of time with some good results. Punchy?
One thing I noticed about, again, Social Club, of course, a rebuilding program, not a junior program, but you got Clay Darrell. You got to give him kudos, Clay Darrell. He's playing, he's scoring goals, you know, not very, you know, really good tactical player, you know, Clay Darrell. But in that division, now let's say Social Club get promoted and they got to play on a Sunday afternoon against Dennytown. So then you say, well, let's make sure that Clay Darrell doesn't have the service. So then you fix that problem. So what else would Social Club offer in terms of playing? I'm not saying about that you know, we could predict what's going to happen in that division. But I thought that with Clay Darrell playing for Social Club, it's a plus. It's a plus. It's like we're expecting Social Club to beat Vesco. We're expecting Social Club to win that game against Paget. And so that's what I think with Social Club are now.
Coach Keita?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess, you know, with Paget as well, you know, a good result for them, 3-1. Social Club have been steadily improving. I agree. So, you know, that I'm sure we all picked Social Club to win that match. I just think that without having that junior program, again, I agree. How much more will they be able to sustain it? And what's the end goal? Is the end goal to get into the Premier League, which probably is the goal for them, but what next? Like, my concern is more of where they're building from. And then they have competition just based off of location, right? Centrally, Dandy Town, Village, the Boulevard to an extent. So, I have to give them credit because they're going out there to play. They're going out there to play for the results. And they're getting the results. So, yeah, good job.
Mace?
Again, I like when people prove me wrong. I like it. I like when I can criticize somebody and they can prove me wrong. Social club people have been stopping me and saying, well, watch. You've been voting against us and you've been talking against us.
Hey, this week, I'm glad your bike don't run on your mouth because you'd be stuck on the causeway.
They told me, social club said, well, you watch me. So you're saying some things about us on the show. Watch what we do. And social club did to BA last week what I expected Boulevard to do to BA. They bullied them. They said, you're BA, we're going to beat you. And they beat them. They manhandled them, they roughed them up, they beat BA. And they're actually, I watched this key apparent chief that's the winger. I actually like him because he puts the ball down and he goes at you and he puts you under pressure. They got the Kia Paris that sits in there. He's an intelligent footballer. He is a very intelligent footballer, and they got no nonsense defenders. So they got that hood piece about them. And we talk about culture. And when you talk about culture, remember social club's mentality to football. They dominated football for long periods of time. They were like Triple Crown champions 3 years in a row. I mean, winning. That mentality is not left social club. The mentality piece is not left there, but the structures left them, but the mentality is not left them, and they have that mentality. They still have that mentality because not a lot of people would approach me in the street and say, "Oh, well, they shut you up, Maceo," and they shut me up. They shut me up, and this week is the beat Patrick. And I've got a message from Patrick that they're going to shut me up soon too. But I'm still voting on Patrick that they're not going to win a game. I can't see it. I can't see Patrick win a game. I got it wrong with Rangers don't want a game, but I like to see Patrick shut me up. But I can't see him shut me up.
Okay.
But social clubs have shut me up. They're like, well, watch. Now, can they get promoted?
Yeah. Well, we're going to take our final commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk about those picks. And, of course, last week we had David Bascom on with us as well. He's picked up 2 wins this weekend with the Baltimore Blast, but see who came out on top in this week's picks. We'll be right back.
John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's foremost distributor of fine beverages, is bringing on the joyful festivities this winter with Barrett Stone Ginger Beer. We've extolled the virtues of this traditional Bermudian drink before. It's refreshing and spicy and wonderful in the kitchen. Google cooking with ginger beer and you'll be amazed by the diversity and wow factor of the recipes. As our good friend Bruce Barrett says, bubbly, tasty, full of spice, refreshing and exciting. When it hits your taste buds, mate, full flavor is igniting. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. I'm still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
Welcome back. Let's jump right into the picks. On Saturday night, Robin Hood and Devonshire Colts. I, myself, Maceo, Coach Keita, we all took Devonshire Colts. David took Robin Hood, and Punchy picked a draw. So Punchy was the only one to get a result in that one. And then it was Somerset taking on Crossroads. All of us, with the exception of David, I guess you don't know no better.
He likes the crest. David likes the crest.
Huh?
He liked the crest of
Oh, right, you're right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Well, that didn't work out for him because Somerset won 5-0. And then Village and Devonshire Cougars. I took a draw. Punchy took Village. Maceo took Cougars. Coach Keita took Village, and David said he would never go against Village. And obviously, it was.
Voting with their heart.
Look who's chiming in he's traveling back from Utica after the win. He picked the logo of Crossroads, and it didn't work out for you, buddy. So on to your next pick.
David, Keita, and Punchy voted with their heart. I keep telling them, stop voting about football with your heart.
I tell you what. Village could have won that game today. I'm gonna tell you, Village could have won that game today.
Yeah, they could.
I came in late and I didn't get a chance to speak on that. But Village actually made me feel like I was bipolar today. 1 minute I can't do this. Next, I was like, good stuff. I think there's some coaching errors that happened. And then there still is a lack of quality. I think they realized the error that they made. Vitello, one of the youngest players, he has to play. He's an intelligent player. As soon as he came on the field, the game was in Cougars' half. Cougars did have some chances too. Amari DeShiel was awesome in the goal, but I did actually think that, and from watching, I felt at the end, of course, I went there in my North Village shirt. No denying who I'm for. However, I did feel that Village had a chance.
Hey, I'm sorry. I know you can go back to that. I'm sorry, Coach Keita. I'm so glad I can jump on that with you because I had the discussion about this young man Vitello, and definitely, you guys. I'm sorry, but definitely, I got to give kudos to him. So he really was effective when he came on. And my problem is that again with North Village, of course, and I'm pro North Village, of course. Sorry about that. Put my hands up. But why does young man not play in that position? Because when he plays in that position, I think Keita and I talking about. He just looks something about him. He's 16 years old. He looks comfortable. He looks smart. And for them to play him out of position, I'm telling them, I'm not coaching her. But I thought, thank you, Keita, about that discussion that we have about this young man.
Where did they play in? What position did he come on?
Well, I make sure all the while I've been playing in wide.
Right.
A wide position. Very ineffective. He scored some goals against, I think he scored a goal against the Georges. I think it was the 3-1. But the St. George's opened up too much against North Village. They left gap and holes at the back sometimes, and it was an earned goal scored. But when I saw him coming on, I think Keita, we talk about when he plays in the midfield, he makes sensible decisions. He looks slow, but he's very correct. He's very correct. There's something about him. He looks left over. He looks over his shoulder a lot. There's a lot of things he does really well. At 16 years old, he can handle himself.
He doesn't have to be fast. He doesn't have to be fast because he's effective in the things that he does. You think about his first touch on the ball today gave us an opportunity with an open net. And we missed. The open net, we missed. But he came on 15 minutes to go.
Let me chime in.
I'm sorry about that. I'm not going
to like, right? You can imagine what our family discussions look like before. Let me chime in with
yes.
North Village doesn't recognize with that type of quality of player. He's an improved now Castle. We used to recognize with that quality of player. No, we don't recognize with that quality type of player. He can control the tempo. He's not selfish. He'll let everybody else play in front of him. North Village is recognized as 99% with Punchy, Parks, and Cal Deal now. That they or Joe Trot, they recognize 99% with that, and they don't recognize with the player that controls the tempo. The kid is capable of coming into, holding in the midfield, and controlling the tempo and letting people play in front of him. So it baffles me. and it appears that from a Kenny perspective, has lost his bravery to play youth players because he did that with Jamaica. He did that with those kids when they came through those times. So we're lost over the years. We're not recognizing with that type of player in Owen. And I love the kid. I love the intelligence that he has to play, and he's actually not slow. He's not slow. He thinks so much faster than everybody else. He sees the game so much quicker than everybody else. So he's a Shelby type player. Yeah.
Anyway, my picks.
Okay, hold on. Now we go back to PHC. And
I can tell you that. You picked if you're hot. You forgot.
then we moved on to PHC and Dandytown. Myself and Punchy picked PHC. Maceo, Keita, and David picked Dandytown. So, David, you finally got a win. Then it was Somerset Eagles against Southampton Rangers. The match was switched from Whitehill to Southampton Oval, and David was the only one to take Rangers. Everybody else took Eagles, but his reason for taking Rangers was that they would have a bigger space to play how they wanted to play. But obviously, playing at Southampton Oval, it worked in their favor.
Who scored for Rangers? Who scored for Rangers?
Dion Stubble scored the winner, and Uzair Bean scored the other.
I used my phone for the show, right? When we got off last week. I had messages, and I checked, and a person sent me a message and said, "I really wish you would have went for Rangers because I watched Dion Stubble play against Somerset. I didn't know Dion Stubble was playing. I don't know that
late transfer because they never put out the late transfer stuff. You don't know who's actually picked up.
He's a game winner. I would love to have known the heights that Dion Stubble could have gone in any sport that he plays. If someone had taken the time out to get this boy in a different setting, honestly. And so I was praying, I was hoping, I was like, I don't want him to be injured, but maybe he could, maybe have to work today or something. Because if he played, I knew that if he played, I knew what was going to happen. David just got lucky.
Good point, Keith. Good point. Yeah. He reminds me of Gennaro Tucker. Similar. In our country where these guys play two sports and there's something about them. They play cricket well and they can play football well, like Gennaro. Right. I give him kudos to him. I mean, just really talented too, technically talented in both sports. Whoa. That's something else.
And then obviously the final pick was the first division match, Social Club and Paget. We all took Social Club. So at the end of the tally, I only got 2 right. I'm on 22. Punchy got 3 right. He's on 26, leading us all. Coach Keita, Maceo got 4 right. He's on 24. And Coach Keita got 3 right. And she's on 24 as well. David, you only got 2. Don't worry. We can give you no more chances. Now let's look forward to because he's got his hands full with his blast. So let's just clear that. Now we look forward to this week coming up on Saturday night out at the BAA Field. It'll be Robin Hood versus Somerset Eagles. Punchy?
Robin Hood.
Maceo?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, man. They
Saturday night.
They struggle to get the game across the line. They manage the game, but they struggle to get across the line to get to the victory. But I'm gonna pick Robin Hood because Somerset Eagles just don't look like they have a clue as to how to win a game.
Coach Keita?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Robin Hood as well.
Okay. And I will actually take Robin Hood as well. PHC are at home on Sunday to Devonshire Colts. Maceo.
PHC, you let me down. I'm telling you that no. You seriously let me down. I'm being accused of all sorts of things now. Yeah. PHC is going to bounce back. They're going to be too strong for Devonshire Colts.
Okay. Coach Keita?
Yeah, PAC.
I have chosen PHC as well. And Punchy?
Yeah, I agree with you, PHC. I just don't think that Devin Schultz is going to be. I mean, PHC fixing small things that the really small things that they. I still think they're very. I think they're still one of the better teams in this country. But there's small matters that they have to fix, like against North Village, finishing the game off. Devin Schultz, no, I think PHC's got too much quality for them. I think convincingly PHC.
Okay. I think we just woke up Ray Jones again. But the next game is Crossroads are at home to Devonshire Cougars. I'm going to start off by taking the Cougars. Punchy?
I'm going to pick Cougars with that. From what I saw today, I'm speaking with Kwame after the game, and kudos to him, what he's trying to achieve there. He wasn't satisfied with the result. He thought the result should have been put beyond doubt, which I do believe that was it. I thought they were very constructive. I just see Cougars going for strength to strength. I'm picking Cougars for that one.
Okay. Maceo?
Kwame is in his natural habitat. You know, you put people in their natural habitat, you can see what they're capable of doing. It's like putting a fish in the water, right? So, you know, he's out there in Cougars, whereas his natural habitat, they're gonna smash Crossroads. They're gonna smash him, and he's not gonna be happy unless they smash him.
Yeah. Coach Keita?
Yeah, Devonshire Cougars for sure.
Okay. All right. And then at Wellington Oval, St. George's are at home to the Somerset Trojans. Punchy?
That's a little hot one there. That's a little hot one there. I know I'm pro St. George's. My nephew's there.
Sure.
For the key to the information. But that's gonna be a difficult one. I think, you know what? I think St. George's, when they do the homework, don't get this right. I think St. George's for a 1-0 or 2-1. I'm picking St. George's on this. And I'm not going by my nephew. I think just what they're doing there. Look at the results, just the odd goals. So and especially when they're playing at home, I think they've got that right now. If we play at home, we will not lose. And I think they've got that right. So I'm picking St. George's for the odd goal. Yeah, St. George's.
Okay. Maceo?
Freddie Hall's been in goal for St. George's, right, Keita?
Yes.
No, Zico Burgess.
Zico Burgess is playing the goal now, Mason.
Zico Burgess.
Zico Burgess has been in goal for him. So, and Fred is working with Zico.
Yeah,
St. George's is going to beat Somerset, man. And that's going to be the nail in Somerset's coffin, man. St. George's will beat Somerset. Don and St. George's. I see it. And, because what you could just see statistically out of St. George's, like Punchy said, they're not giving up a lot of goals. And what Jamar struggles against, he struggles against an organized team. He struggles to break down an organized team. So I see St. George's beating Somerset. And St. George's started losing cup matches to Somerset too, so.
Coach Keita?
Ooh. Somerset coming off. I had to play smart. I had to play this game smart. Somerset coming off a 5-0 win over. Did they play Crossroads?
Crossroads, yes.
Not really. And St. George's had a bye time. Not really a game Somerset could use as a, to gauge what they're going to run up against in St. George's, against St. George's. Like I said, I haven't watched St. George's against Robin Hood. I think that they're getting a lot of things right. I will say my brother knows his stuff. And listening to him today, he was happy to go watch Village. He was happy to go Rare today. We actually went to the game together. He picked me up and we went to the game together. And so just talking to him after the game, and listening to the things that he's saying, Somerset's they're gonna have some problems. If Jerome Patches get it right, Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with St. George's with my head.
Yeah. Tell me anything. Tell me anything.
Well, I've taken St. George's as well. Now,
Pick St. George's. Hey,
what's that?
all four of us pick St. George's.
Oh yeah.
We're losing confidence in Silver City.
Well, now here we go. Southampton Rangers are at home to the North Village Rams. I'll give you all a chance to take a breath, but I'm going with North Village. Punchy.
You know, I don't know what team shows up at times with North Village. Like today, I don't know because Kenny was missing. There's so many. When you talk to Keita and we talk to Patches, watching them the display today, they look. I don't know. They had the energy today, but technically after the fourth and fifth pass was just given away. They were a lot different last week against PHC. So my concern about that is about North Village in terms of what I see. I think they're going to win by the odd goal in terms of experience.
Mm-hmm.
But Streak is going to I know Streak is going to have to do his real homework about this here, real homework. But I still will get North Village a nudge in that game.
Okay. Maceo?
The Unstoppable can rip North Village apart, man.
Oh. Okay.
The Unstoppable up Rangers. He ain't got to track back. It's a small field. It's gonna rip North Village apart, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and North Village is not. Again, I made a comment, and it wasn't meant to be offensive. North Village play sideways and backwards. They play sideways and backwards, and they're not. And then I saw that out of PHC today playing sideways and backwards a lot, whereas PHC used to get in the box really fast. So that possession base, Rangers is just going to wait for a mistake. They're going to get the ball to Deion Stalvo in the box, and it's going to rip you apart.
Okay.
Rangers going to be Rangers going to beat North Village up Rangers.
Okay. Coach Keita, you had a long time to think about it.
Yeah, well, if Village do their homework, and it's quite obvious what's changed for Rangers, right? I mean, they took 9 from Robin Hood. They took 9 from Robin Hood, and they were on the losing end. And then Deion Stalvo shows up. So I'm not gonna tell the coaches what to do, but it's quite simple what they need to do. Yeah, it's gonna be a tactical change that they're gonna have to make. And it's a small field, as Maceo says. So we got a small field, mind you. Our small field's not working for us. It's more like the theater our dreams used to be for United right now. Like Bernard's Park's the away field for North. Right?
Hey, listen. If I can add to this, I'm sorry, Peter. I'm sorry. If you can add to this. So if you play on a smaller pitch, then what is your perception of the game? Quicker passes, better technique players. Players running through spaces that are correct, the right pass. Because when you play on a smaller pitch, you have less time. Especially now if you would institute high pressure and pressure on everybody. So you're right, Keita, about that distinction of what I see now in coaching. Then, like I know for a fact, when I used to go, and I'm adding to this, when I used to go down St. George's, it's a wide open field. But when we lost the ball, we were compact. But when we were stretch teams. So in a smaller field, like North Village, like the Rangers, you got to be compact. You got to create these spaces on the wide areas, and then we take advantage of that. And I think maybe even though I'm still saying that North Village is going to get by this game in terms of maybe the knowledge, with the players that we have, but that's something to recognize here in this country. Again, when you play on a smaller pitch, what do? When you go up to Somerset, I know we go up to Somerset, it's tight. It's wider and it's shorter. So what do? So those are things that we're only asking these questions of coaches and teams. And I'm so glad again to be part of the show because that's what it's about. Asking these questions. If you go play at White Hill, it's open space. Where do you create the space? Where's the space? Leave it outside, compact the middle, and so it's very, I'm glad again. I just think that Norfolk against Rangers by the odd girl.
Coach Keita was still waiting on your pick.
Yeah. No. I was gonna continue, but yeah, I'm gonna pick North Village. I think the thing is, I'm not gonna let no secrets out. North Village is gonna be fine. They're gonna be quite okay. Remember, a lot of planes are flying here right now. My head, your son comes back soon too, sir. So trust me, North Village will be fine next week.
When my son comes back anyway? He's playing that game?
Probably. If I was the coach, he'd be playing.
Oh, there you go, Keita. No, I will put him too. I will play him.
No Village.
Hey, hold on. Hey,
let me tell you something. I saw
shut you up.
I saw some spectators today that have Red Sox on next week. I'm sure. So I'm okay. North Village.
Okay.
All right. Now let's go to the first division. On Wednesday night at BAA Field, it's going to be Boulevard Blazers against Island Rangers. Let's start with you, Maceo.
Island Rangers.
You're taking Rangers?
They're gonna beat Boulevard.
Okay. And Coach Keita?
Yep, Island Rangers for me as well.
I'm going to actually take Boulevard. Punchy.
I'm taking Boulevard. Island Rangers are coming down there from all the way up way up the dockyard to beat Boulevard to BA. And they ain't no way. No. And just a raw talent at Boulevard. Yeah, I'm taking Boulevard on that one.
Listen, take it easy. Be on your bus ride, Mike. Be on your bus ride. Then Saturday night, BAA host Wolves. Coach Keita?
Yeah. Wolves. I'm gonna take Wolves. Not got too much information about them. But I think I'm gonna go with Wolves.
I'm actually going to take BAA. I think Andrew will settle his team down. As Maceo pointed out last week, Social Club really bullied them. And now after seeing that, I think Andrew could come up with a plan to calm his players down and not react to so many and we saw that Vasco was doing the same thing. And I think now after those two games, I think he will have a hold on how to manage those young players and release the ball a lot faster, because a lot of times those guys were getting caught with the ball while they were getting manhandled against Vasco and then against Social Club. So I'm going to take BAA because of Andrew. Punchy?
That's my good player, but I'm not taking them. No, I'm gonna go with what we done last week. Social Club bullied BA up at what? Actually, they didn't bully them. Yeah, they deserve to win. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going with Wolves on this one. It's the same thing. I appreciate. Hands up to Andrew. Good coaching staff, knows what he's doing. But at times, it's still that raw talent. Does he have the quality to deal with these raw talents? The teams like Social Club have and then Wolves have. So I'm picking Wolves for this game.
Okay. And Maceo?
I'm gonna tell you a little story. I like your little story. It's still fresh in my mind. A match that Andrew played for North Village. This would have to be in the 80s up National Stadium, and we lost to Vasco in the final, the Mortimer Cup final. And in my mind, if Andrew played for North Village, there's no way that we could lose. Like, that was in my mind at that time. It's like, okay, here's the football god. You know, we can't lose if Andrew played. And I can remember sitting in the change room, you know, long faces, and I still couldn't fathom how did North Village lose that match. But I say that to say, you know, he's not the football god. He can do magic tricks. And Wolves are going to be too much. Wolves are going to be too much for BA, man. They're gonna bully him. They're gonna bully BA, and Wolves are not gonna. They're gonna take BA. You know, even with Andrew's organization, with it, they're gonna take BA. You know, I'm learned the hard way many times that just because Andrew coaches or he players that don't mean that they always win. I'm learned that the hard way a lot.
Sure. All right. Now, interesting matchup up at Malabar. Island Rangers are at home to St. David's. Here, I will take Island Rangers.
I thought Island Rangers was playing somebody else.
They play Wednesday night. That first game Wednesday night.
Oh, they played
Yes.
twice. Okay.
Yeah, because the Boulevard Island Rangers game is a makeup game. Okay, so Punchy, Island Rangers or St. David's?
Island Rangers. St. David's is not a well-traveled team. That's a long ride for them. It's simple. That's Island Rangers.
Okay.
It's simple. The Island Rangers been done to St. David's. To being well-traveled, being organized. I'm hearing Island Rangers going to win that game.
Okay. Maceo?
Yeah, Island Rangers. So Davis can come up there. Doesn't go up Dockyard.
Yeah, it doesn't go up Dockyard.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Island Rangers all day. Island Rangers game.
Yeah.
No, Kiddo, you're hard. You're hard.
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, Sam is hosting the golfers down at the pool, so I'm all right. He watching the show, and he don't watch reruns, so I'm good. Island Rangers for sure. I'm okay this weekend. I'm okay this week. Island Rangers.
Okay. Vasco are at home to the Boulevard Blazers. Punchy.
Is that game LBA?
No, Vasco play up Southampton Oval.
And what is that on Sunday before the North Village game?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Vasco. I'll take Vasco. I'm actually gonna Vasco, buddy. Vasco.
Okay. Maceo?
Boulevard. Boulevard's gonna beat Vasco in a small field.
Okay.
On a small field, just the athletic ability of the players. The athletic ability of the players, the aggression of the players, they're gonna beat Vasco in a small field.
Okay. Interesting. You don't take Boulevard against at home, but you take them on the road. Interesting. Okay. All right. Coach Keita?
Boulevard.
I'm going to actually take Vasco in this particular match as well. Punchy, I'll go with you. And the final match of the weekend, another one. I'll give you guys a chance to catch yourself, but it's Hamilton Parish at home, Wellington Oval, against Social Club. I'm going to take Hamilton Parish. Coach Keita?
Hamilton Parish.
Punchy?
Hey, you know what? That's kind of a tricky this situation. Maybe Clay Darrell will show up his real true colors and what's he capable of doing. Because I think, some teams only have 2 or 3 players that are capable of winning the game by themselves.
Right.
I still gonna do. I'm gonna pick Hamilton Parish on this.
Okay. And Maceo.
So where's that game to?
Wellington Oval.
Oh, that's an organizational game. Hamilton Parish all the way. They got the quality. I mean, Hamilton Parish is like Dannytown right now. Can they be invincible? I mean, just let's reflect. There's only one team that's since Sergio Good has been at Hamilton Parish. There's only one team that's taken points off them, and that was Island Rangers. They took a point off. Took points.
Yeah,
no one else took a point off.
Ironically, in their last outing at Wellington Oval.
Yeah. So Hamilton Parish, they're gonna have the organization. They're gonna have the quality of players. I mean, if you start talking about Hamilton Parish, they got a kid down there named Korean Outerbridge. He's actually a North Village player. He's a player. They got a kid down there. What's the 3 brothers' name? Patrick's sons. They grew up in North Village. I forgot the last name, but they're actually proper football players. Proper football players, and Sergio's got proper football players at his disposal, and he's organizing them. They're gonna beat Social Club.
I think with the confidence that Social Club have right now, it's not going to be as easy as it would have been back a few weeks ago when Social Club was struggling. But I think Parish have enough weapons to come away on with a victory on this one. So, yeah. So, guys, that's our picks. Maceo has been quieted by 2 teams this weekend, and you too. So, Mace, look, you've also claimed that Paget won't get a win. I know now they'll be all out now that Rangers have got the win. Yeah. All it takes is one 90-minute hard work game and everything falls for you. Hey.
Well, again, value to the show, right? We have opinions about teams and they're responding. And I like that. They're responding, to the criticism. They're responding to the positivity. I mean, Danny Ton is now said to me, please don't say nothing nice about my team, because if you say something nice about them, they might believe you. They might believe you and think it's over.
Well, you started off the show by saying should we give them the trophy now or wait to the end of the season?
No, it's over. I don't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't. I just can't see anyone really beating Danny Ton.
Well,
I just don't.
Peter and Earl, I think we talked about the beginning of the season with Aaron Jenkins there, his organization. They get them through the rough patches, if that makes any sense. He gets them through the rough patches. Again, Devils Coast, there was some last Sunday, there was some rough patches in the game. They weren't all that good, but they just come through it. So you're looking at the results that they're achieving. 1-0, 2-1, again, like St. George's. Getting through the rough patches are very important. When you're not playing well, what do you do in certain times of the game? And when you're losing the game, you're territorially wise, if the team's got more possession, what do you do? What do you put up the blocks in? I think that's what I'm saying to you. I think Aaron Jenkins is adding a lot of dimension to Danny Ton now. Take away the young, energetic, okay. After that, what else do they have? But they're showing a little bit more dimension to what he's doing there. And I got to give him, again, doing this, with the president of the club that was at one time at North Village, DeVar Boyles. I think he's getting it right. That's why they're getting those results. That's why they're achieving results. I think it's small things. It's fixing these small things with them, which matters.
Well, we'll be back next week, Sunday, with another edition. Yes.
I don't know if you guys did it already, but condolences to the family of Mike Sharp.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to just wanted to get that out there before we went.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very shocking. Yeah.
All right. We'll be back next week. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.